Not only is he training now with a Hall of Famer, but Bow Wow is taking shots at other WWE superstars. We are going to get into this today, right here. Stay tuned. This is WrstlXtra.
Yo, what is good, people? This is your boy A Dazzle. I'm here with my main man Mex, and this is WrstlXtra. You are in on AffinityExtra.com, and you are watching right now on the WrestleManiac UK YouTube channel. Bro, what is going on? Everybody wants to be in WWE.
Everybody wants to be in WWE, and I mean, WWE seem to be signing a lot of people right now.
Hey, listen, they're on it,
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm thinking, bro? Around, was it just after WrestleMania last year? Of course, we saw all the cuts. Yeah. Everyone getting cut here, there, and whatever else, put on furlough and blah blah blah. I've got a feeling Donald Trump must have paid Vince McMahon his early tax rebate, bro, because I'm like, where are they getting this money, bro, to sign all these people less than a year later? And talking big money. I mean, of course, we know they've got money. Of course, we know they've got money, but it's kind of like, what's the plan? That's what I'm intrigued to find out. What is the plan? Let's first get into not even the wrestlers, but let's get into these celebs, these non-wrestlers, these showbiz bodies,
socialites,
who have put their name forward, and as Anthony Joshua said, want to do WWE.
Ah, kill me now! What the hell, my brother? I want to do WWE. Is this a verb or whatever?
That alone, bro. Forget it. Just go. Just leave. Yeah. Stay in your ring, not this one.
Yeah.
Stay there. How are you seeing it? Because obviously we're seeing now this kind of. It feels like a bit of a bandwagon based on, I guess, the success of the current success of Bad Bunny. He's not the first one. He's obviously not the first one. He definitely won't be the last. It's a normal thing that WWE do. Often, at least, 3, maybe 4 times a year, throw in a celebrity to, bump up some numbers and merch and blah, blah, blah. But right at the moment, it just seems like everyone's throwing their name in the hat, whereas usually we just kind of see them turn up.
Appear, yeah.
And on the front row, behind the commentators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How are you seeing it? How are you seeing it, bro? Tell me your thoughts.
Bruv, I mean, even the Bad Bunny thing at Royal Rumble, we thought, or we were made to believe it was just the performance. Then he started coming out on Raw and stuff like that. Even the spot in the Royal Rumble, we thought, it's not outlandish for a superstar or a celebrity, to do a one-off spot like that. But then he came out on Raw, and then he kept coming out on Raw. And then we heard from Triple H, this guy has been in the Performance Center long before that. Listen, and now, bro, he's the 24/7 champion. Like,
bro, the man came out and had pyro. That's how I knew.
Yeah.
He must have made some money for them. And we found out as well that he's made over $500,000 in merch sales in the first week. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's the return on the investment.
Exactly. That's why I thought, you know what? Let's throw about 10% of that into the pyro and give him that, and then throw the 24/7 championship on him as well. Let's see how can give us another $500,000.
And like they were saying last night on the show, he's going on SNL in America, which is obviously one of their biggest shows that they have on Saturday night.
Of course.
He's going to walk onto SNL as the 24/7 champion now.
Oh my God, bro!
And you, me, and everyone in the comments knows that means absolutely nothing. But for the casual viewers that will watch that show, we're thinking first we're getting Bad Bunny, and now he's a WWE champion, because that's exactly what they're gonna call him, a WWE champion.
Bro. They don't care about 24/7. Just say about and like.
So there might even be a spot on the show where he gets pinned or someone tries to attack him for the title and he defends
one of the comedians, bro. Definitely.
And this is where these other celebrities are smelling the green.
Yeah,
you know, like we said, I think Cardi B, which WWE have admitted they're interested in, is very much that's, you know, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We could do with, you know, getting bums in seats, as they say, and that will be a short-term deal.
Right.
Again, with artists especially, there's no touring right now because of the global pandemic. So where they can work in a set area and be on TV and still grow their stock and their social presence and all of that stuff, that's why this is a viable option.
Right.
Because this is still entertainment industry. I mean, yeah, they could go into sports, but that's going to require a lot more. So
that's a real training.
Yeah, exactly.
And a long time.
Yeah. So, you know, Bow Wow has said, for me, I'll put my hands up, but I said, you know, Bow Wow has seen Bad Bunny and he wants some action. He wants some green as well. And it looks like he's taking this very seriously. The fact he's now got Rikishi training him. You know, I think someone took a jab at him on Twitter and he took a jab at them as well, saying something along the lines of, I got more followers than you.
Listen, man, I'm seeing comments from left, right, and center on Twitter with Bow Wow. Only Lorkin came at him. T-Bar came at him. He must have complimented Mustafa Ali, and Ali was like, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you know, I've got my little exclusive, so I've posted that about the whole thing with Bow Wow on my page, and Uncle Monty, as I like to call him, MVP, has almost straight away was like, nah, we're good over here. Whoops. And a day or two later, Shad Moss, the man himself, Bow Wow, has responded. And I'll read exactly what he said. We could say the same about wrestling coming to our profession of music and movies too, but do we? Question mark. I think he's taking a little jab at MVP because he jumped on one of the rap tracks. I think he had Wale and yeah.
That's correct.
And he said you post to be, I guess that's you're supposed to be, American speak.
Yeah. Post.
Shantice, you can maybe help me there. You post to be uplifting, and to think I loved the Hurt Business too. Damn. ... Little Bow Wow's hurt, man.
Yeah, hey. He's not little anymore. He's just Bow Wow.
He's still short though. But he's hurt, bro. But yeah, man, like he's going for it, bro. So he's been speaking with Rikishi, as you said. He's now training with Rikishi. You know, he's going a bit, you know, to and fro with a few stars in WWE, whether that is, you know, shoot or whether that's some kind of, you know, secret storylines going on and all the rest of it, possibly. You know, we know, and I think I've kind of heard through the grapevine, I saw it somewhere, that he has spoken with WWE. So
boy,
we're gonna see what's the show that he was on? 105 in Park? 106, 106 in Park. We're gonna see 205 in Park. You know what I mean? Yes.
You know what?
You know what? It's probably gonna come up with Ashanti the Adonis one of the nights. You know what I mean? Who knows? It would work.
Maybe. The thing is with this whole decision, I think for us as wrestling fans, if all of a sudden we quietly heard this guy has been training, this guy is getting indie dates. Oh, he's been signed. He's at NXT now. He's working his way through. All of a sudden he's up on the main roster, and then being WWE, because he's Bow Wow, they push him straight to WrestleMania. I don't think people would have quite an issue. It's not because you've come out and said, I want to be in WWE. I want to tag with Rey Mysterio. And potentially the engine could put you right there where you want to be. And us as fans are looking at, you know, some of our favorites that aren't getting that opportunity. And it's just like, no, you shouldn't be there. What training, what qualifications, why should you be propelled into such a position? But if he went the long road and, you know, was respected in what he done, like we've seen some, you know, even like there's probably better examples, but I'll just pull on someone like Matt Riddle, someone that, you know, had his own thing, went into the indies. He could have probably went from, you know, where he was to a primetime spot in a big promotion. What he done what he needed to do to get the experience and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, if Bow Wow takes that road quietly and humbly, I'm sure. Well, now it's probably too late, but I'm sure at the time, if he done that, I don't think anyone would have an issue with it, to be honest.
And here's the thing: a better example. There were two better examples in terms of people who have jumped into the scene and kind of, became a little bit credible after a while. David Arquette, actor David Arquette.
Yeah.
And arguable, I know. And the other one, arguable as well still, but I think he was okay. Dennis Rodman.
Okay, yeah.
Dennis Rodman is another one. So it's not impossible. Even if he's kind of thrown himself in there, and obviously we're in this day and age where social media is what social media is. There wasn't necessarily social media back when Rodman was on WCW, and we knew about everything Rodman was doing anyway because he'd tell the whole world anyway. So yeah, I guess and here's the thing. So when he first put out his whole thing about wanting to be in WWE and mentioned Rey Mysterio, we both said, okay, the fact that he mentioned Rey Mysterio, you're like, yeah, he obviously doesn't watch this thing properly, does he? But I must say,
that's such a bog standard answer. Who do you want to team with?
Exactly. But I must say, since then, a couple of tweets that he's put out and a few things that I've seen, he and Amarian way back were at a WWE show. There's a picture with Crime Time coming down and noticing him on the front row. And he said a few things since in the last week or so to make me think, okay, he watches it, and he did say yesterday, an hour before Raw started, that he's going to be watching Raw and stuff. So I'm like, okay, he's putting the work in at least, even if he wasn't, hard fan as we would say we are. He's now kind of putting in the work and trying to make this thing happen, and he seems to be quite serious about it, even if it does end up to be just a celebrity appearance. He's putting in the work, so.
Yeah, this is thing. Like I don't want to, if I had to choose somebody, I'm not choosing Bow Wow, but I don't mind him working his way and putting on a good performance whenever he gets there. But yeah, I think it's just I forgot what I was gonna say. Let me pull up Shantice's.
Yeah, go for it.
Shantice made a very good comment here. If Wale tweeted this, we wouldn't have bat an eyelid, because he was openly a wrestling fan, and that's a good point as well. That's what I was gonna say. I think because Bow Wow as well, let's not lie, his star power isn't massive right now.
Not now.
Cardi B, they've mentioned Cardi B, and people are like, okay, they're already booking where they can see Cardi B because of where she is, and even other people that have come in, Bad Bunny, biggest streamed artist last year. It looks like Bow Wow is trying to grips onto something, last what they call it, last gas saloon, like trying to save something for his career, like somewhere, like. And I think that's what fans are perceiving as well, and we are protective of this wild thing that we like called wrestling. It's like, no, don't come over here and use us to raise your star power. Right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel, and in defense, going back to Anthony Joshua, in defense of him, so I pulled up the little video of the interview that he did, and he was actually asked the question. So it wasn't just him kind of out of nowhere saying he's going to do WWE. I can't believe we actually said that. Anyway, he was asked the question, after wrestling, what would you do? Would you go to UFC?
After boxing.
Yeah, after boxing. Sorry, did I say after wrestling?
Yeah.
Wow, that's how you know something wrong. After boxing, would you go and do UFC or do WWE? So he had a choice. He was given a choice. It wasn't just him pulling on the bandwagon right now and seeing what Bad Bunny's doing and blah blah blah. And he also said he would go to WWE because that's what Muhammad Ali did, not because that's what. Then again, he probably wouldn't say this, but what Tyson Fury did, because he's going to face Tyson Fury soon, so he's not going to copy him.
Yeah.
But Tyson Fury, of course, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, all of them have done it as well. So he's kind of looking at his you know, his heroes, I guess, not Tyson Fury, and thinking, you know, this is what they did. They didn't do UFC, so I'm going to follow in the footsteps of my heroes. So it's not as bad. It's not as bad, but yeah, the whole phrase "do WWE" just tells you everything. Just don't, bro.
Yeah, allow it.
Just leave it out. Just watch from the sidelines, and every now and again, show your face, wave.
He should be the guy that's behind the commentators. Oh, we've got AJ in town tonight.
Right. And just leave it at that. Don't come over the barrier and 100%. Step up to Braun Strowman or whatever it is. Leave that part out. Just do the wave.
Or if he wants to do that, they can give him a one spot when they do WWE on tour in Birmingham and Manchester and them places.
Right.
Have him step over face to face with Braun Strowman. One knockout punch and that's it. He climbs back over the barrier and done.
Yeah.
Draw the line.
End it. Yeah. But yeah, man, the celebrity thing is going off. I mean, it is, you know, it's WrestleMania season. It's about to pop off. So, you know, as you said, WWE have, you know, openly admitted that they're looking for stars, Cardi B namely, and there may be a few others. So, you know, it is part and parcel of what this crazy thing is. It always has been, even from WrestleMania 1, as we mentioned, Muhammad Ali. There's been so many other stars in that space of time as well. So, you know, it's nothing new. But I guess, as you said, with the way Bow Wow did it, it's kind of like, all right, mate.
That's it. And that's probably what this whole issue is. It's the execution of how he's come into, I want to join the WWE and wrestle with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
execution was poor.
Talking of execution, we want to talk about the madness and excitement that happened over the weekend. We had 2 pay-per-views going on. Impact's No Surrender and NXT TakeOver. What was it called again? Vengeance Day and Judgment Day mixed together and just called it to something else and turned Valentine's Day into Vengeance. Whatever. Whoever came up with that idea just didn't call me. But anyway, so we don't necessarily want to talk about match to match and, you know, exactly what happened. But I guess because it's 2 pay-per-views, both of them decently good. Actually really good. I want to talk more about the booking, the storylines. Did it make sense? Did it carry on? Did it excite us for further happenings and what's going on? Let's talk about NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day first. How did you see the whole pay-per-view, and how did you see some of the storylines that came out from it?
I thought it was a really, really good show. I mean, when it comes to takeovers, we've just been kind of groomed into what to expect of this high level wrestling show that we're going to get. The only thing missing from the last couple of takeovers is that rabid NXT crowd that we always get on a night of a takeover. True. But this was no different. I thought this was fantastic. Obviously, this being WrstlXtra, I'm going to talk specifically about Ember Moon, who was the black star that we had on the card.
Of course.
I honestly thought she was phenomenal. I thought when she came back, I remember us talking about how they brought her back and Toni Storm in on the same night when she returned to NXT. Wasn't a fan of it. Thought it was very muddled up. The whole biker gimmick thing, I just thought was trash. Everything she's done until this point, I thought was just very much. She looks like she's suffering from a bit of ring rust, and she was getting herself back. I will say this without being inappropriate. But even when I watched the Royal Rumble with my missus, my missus said Ember Moon looks off. She doesn't look like how she used to look. And my missus is a very casual fan. Okay. You know, it kind of made me reaffirm what I was thinking.
Right.
But Sunday night, she was the MVP of that match. And obviously they've been doing a big job in putting Raquel Gonzalez over as this massive force. Ember Moon looked like Ember Moon of old. She's got her step back. She's got her touch back. She just looked so good and just made me think. Now I was thinking all of a sudden, what are you doing in NXT? Like, you're one of the best women on this roster. But I still think she has a couple of issues with her character. I don't think it's quite defined. Like, what is she? Especially now, before she was the werewolf girl thing. But like, what are you now? You're just a nutcase with Shotzi. Like,
I mean, my issue with Ember Moon has always been the same. I thought it was going to change, but it definitely hasn't. In the sense where we just don't know who and what she is.
Yeah.
The one thing we cannot take away from her is her ability in the ring. There are very, very few women that are better than her in that ring.
100%.
Very few. Very, very few. So that doesn't surprise me. Yes, she had a bit of ring rust, as you said, when she first came back, or a few matches were a little bit off and all that type of thing. But, you know, she seemed to have found her form again in the ring, at least. In terms of a character, story, whatever, still don't get it. Don't get it. It's a different one, but again, still just don't get it. And I think I've gone past the point of trying to get it. Like I just let's just not even bother try and work it out. Let's just be amazed by what she can do in the ring and hope that it comes to her holding a championship again or having a major storyline at some point very soon. Other than that, I'm just like, who is she?
Yeah, that's it. And obviously in the world of WWE, where they weigh up character stuff over anything else,
very true,
that could be a dangerous place to be.
For sure.
But yeah, hopefully NXT she'll be appreciated for her performances and everything, because I was.
I mean, and let's be real, it's probably why she's ended up back on NXT.
Yeah.
Because on Raw, you need, as you said, you need the character, you need the this, to that, and all the rest of it. Whereas NXT, it's more, just that little bit more about the wrestling and what you can do in the ring. So let's hope that she finds her form and it still leads to something great for her, because as we said, she's amazing in the ring and deserves more as well. The other stars that did great things on that night is MSK, of course, formerly known as the Rascals, Wesley, your favorite name, and Nash Carter won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, beating the grizzled young veterans. Yeah, man, the match was
it was good.
Mad, bro.
It was
mad.
Very good.
And it's exactly what I expected from both teams. Absolutely love both teams. I didn't necessarily care who won. I would have been happy with both teams winning, but it's just that I obviously added extra for Wesley to win that Dusty Cup. They've come in obviously in the tournament, the whole thing of the hashtag who is MSK for about 24 hours or less. And they've gone all the way and won the tournament. It is like the first thing they've won on a major company. And they were in Impact for like 3 years.
Yeah, man.
And people were asking the question, why would he sign with WWE? There you go. Sunday told you exactly why. Simple as that. I don't even need to say any more about the whole thing.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
it's so true.
So we're happy with that. Grateful about that. I want to talk about my boy Pete Dunne, because obviously my Birmingham boy, British strong style. You know what I mean? That's how we do it. British strong style. Pete Dunne. I'm absolutely upset that he didn't win. I mean, I didn't necessarily expect him to, but at the same time, it would have been amazing if he did. But again, cracking performance from Pete Dunne. Every time that guy speaks, I'm just like, he's from Birmingham.
He's from home. He's from home, literally.
Listen, man, a man's like, this is how we talk. I don't care about Finn Balor. I'm gonna mash him up. I'm gonna snap his fingers. I'm like, yeah.
Hometown boy.
Sounds like any white boy on my streets. Amazing, bro. But yeah, man, amazing performance from him. The match ended the way it did as well. Obviously, Finn Balor won, but then Adam Cole came out and did what Adam Cole did.
My heart hasn't recovered. I mean, I'm gonna get back to that in just a second. Pete Dunne his flowers.
For sure, bro.
I tweeted it out after the match. I have not, up till today, I've been watching Pete Dunne since he's maybe about 21, 22 years old.
Right.
I have not seen a bad Pete Dunne match.
Right.
I have not seen one.
Right.
The consistency to perform at this level over and over again is crazy. And I saw some people arguing with me saying that, but he's always had good people to go against. That's you can't argue that. If a guy is good, a guy is good. And I even think Pete Dunne is above good. He's one of the better wrestlers they have in WWE, full stop. But yeah, Finn Balor retained, and Finn Balor, his reign is beginning to catch a lot of pace now. It started off slow because he got injured, but
true.
you know, he's
Very
defended
true.
a couple times against Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne. Now he's beginning to look like the real deal again, and this is some of the better work he's done since he's been in WWE.
For sure.
Obviously, like you said, Adam Cole came out with the Undisputed Era guys to protect Finn Balor from Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch attack. And Adam Cole turned on Finn Balor. Adam Cole turned on Kyle O'Reilly, basically ending one of the greatest stables, the greatest stable we've had in NXT, 100%.
Oh, easily,
and
NXT,
one of the best we've had in wrestling in a very long time. You know, they can go one of a few ways, which I've kind of predicted that they've been talking about putting the NXT title match, NXT title match on WrestleMania. Finn Balor, Adam Cole would be absolutely massive, especially with obviously the Bullet Club stuff that's just happening in wrestling right now. Right. Those are two, you know, Finn Balor was the Bullet Club leader. Adam Cole was like the leader of the USA branch, if you like, once upon a time. So that would be massive. Two of the greatest or longest reigning NXT champions.
For sure.
Or they can do Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole at the next takeover. We've seen the wars that those guys have had in Ring of Honor back in the days and stuff like that. So that's going to be a brilliant match. Either way they go from here is going to be brilliant.
They can't go wrong.
They can't go wrong. But my heart is still hurting. You know, literally when I watched that, I was actually wearing my Undisputed Era merch. And I turned, I looked at my t-shirt and I was thinking, I actually said to myself, you need to stop buying stuff that belongs to tag teams and factions because they will let you down like this. They will actually make you realize you wasted your money. I was so gutted, but we saw it coming.
And you know what? I'm not going to lie, though. I think I'm more gutted that I don't have any Undisputed Era merch, bro, because I've loved every single t-shirt that's come out.
Hold on.
Apart from the red.
Oh, yeah, the red one's not great. But it's all going to go on sale very soon. Because
so on it, bro. Let's go.
It's all going to be like $10 $10 in the next couple of weeks. So you grab it then.
Yeah, for real. Moving on to Impact No Surrender. We saw a lot of our stars on the card. So we had the women's tag team champions, the knockout tag team champions, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. Trey Miguel, Willie Mack, and Chris Bay were in that crazy revolver match. Rich Swann, Moose, and a whole lot of other people, Private Party as well. How do you think that whole thing was booked? Was it done well? Was the show good? How did you see that one?
So Impact, I've watched like highlights. I didn't watch the match like everything through sort of thing. I think they're doing a good job. And I think especially with this like United Nations of wrestling indies that is happening these days, they're making sure they're not going to be forgotten and they're kind of building their worth. So yeah, I thought it was a really decent show. All of their top guys, so to speak, were given really good positions and shone, I think. So yeah.
So we saw the Forbidden Door, better known to us as the Blasted Door.
The Blasted Door.
As Private Party obviously were in the triple threat tag team match for the Impact Tag Team Championships. Great performance by them, but they didn't win. Is that a good move, bad move? Obviously, we know the Good Brothers will probably end up facing the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championship. So we'll see like a, tag team champions versus tag team champions match. But do you think that it would have maybe been better for Private Party to win and then take it to AEW, kind of almost hostage?
I think so far how things are playing out, maybe Impact need to win something from AEW and hold that hostage first. So yeah, I think right now AEW have been in the ascendancy in terms of getting guys over there and all of this kind of stuff, looking more dominant. But obviously what counts at the end of the day is championships. And I think Impact is actually going to be the first or lay the first blow in respect to taking one of their championships. I think it would be really interesting if they took the TNT championship, seeing as the fact that they're not on TNT, and it's like we've taken the whole network sort of thing over there. I think that would be a massive statement. I wouldn't even mind if it was, you know, Sammy Guevara, that right now it looks like he's gonna maybe go over to Impact in the little storyline he's with in the Inner Circle. Even if he won it and was on Impact defending it, I think that would be good. But yeah, I think Impact, just for AEW to show that this isn't all like AEW gains everything from this partnership. Impact probably need to win the first championship, even if it's just a tag team championship or women's championship. Impact need to get the first one, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And this is why I think it probably would have been. I mean, it works out for the Good Brothers in terms of their storyline with the Young Bucks, but you know, based on exactly what you just said, I think it would have been a good idea for Private Party as the first, I guess, you know, stars from AEW. Well, not the first, because Kenny Omega was the first, but stars from AEW to come into Impact and try to win something. It would have. I think it just would have made a little bit more sense for them to win. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I still think this whole Forbidden Door, it sounds great, but it's still just being executed so slowly. I'm just not completely with it just yet. It's amazing to hear certain names being flashed around, and you know, we know that David Finlay and Juice Robinson are going to turn up on Impact. Yep. I'm hearing that, you know, you mentioned that Sammy Guevara may end up on Impact as well. There's been some madness in the background with him and some TV tapings and madness. But anyway, and we've heard Okada might turn up on both AEW or Impact. When and if that happens, bro,
that's Rainmaker.
Stupid. Yeah. But for me, the one thing that I'm you know, watching very, very strongly is Moose. I've said it like maybe 3-4 weeks in a row now, but Moose is just looking like an absolute beast. Yeah. My two guys right now, Moose and on WWE, Bobby Lashley, because
I was just about to say he's looking very Bobby Lashley on Impact.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's inevitable that Moose is going to win that championship at his first. I think hopefully at his first attempt against Rich Swann, whenever that happens, very soon, of course. And then I think for me, anyone that comes from, you know, New Japan or AEW, facing Moose for me is just that has that little bit more substance to it than facing Rich Swann. Not taking anything away from Rich Swann, but I just feel like Moose has just got that just more tenacity, I guess is the best word to use for him to fly the flag for Impact.
It's the physical stature as well. It's the physical stature. Like right now, like Omega's not the biggest of guys, but even if you face Swann and Omega together, Swann is looking up at him and looks like the underdog immediately. Right. If you have someone like Moose staring eye to eye with Okada, like who is same height and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, I just threw out Okada as a name, but even, you know, going back, Okada actually done his excursion in Impact, you know, as a young lion sort of thing.
Yes, he did.
And Impact apparently treated him very badly, and he went back to New Japan. So it would even be so much full circle if he went and took that Impact Championship.
That would be
He's
amazing.
Not doing much in New Japan right now. But anyway, Moose and Okada looks more credible in terms of physical stature, star power as well for each show. So yeah, I 100% get what you mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just add, sorry?
Go on, go for it.
If the Good Brothers were not the tag team champions,
yes,
Private Party would have won. I'm pretty sure they would have won.
Yeah, I think so.
It would have been.
The whole Good Brothers thing, and you know, as you know, the whole Bullet Club and blah blah. That's overtaking all this whole stuff, and it makes sense, but at the same time, it's still kind of like okay, like because the Elite basically run AEW, it just feels like it's you're my friend, so I'm gonna put you over first, and then leave everyone else behind. Whatever, innit?
We'll see. Yeah.
Of course. Speaking of Impact and championships, we're talking about our ladies, Fire and Flavor, who retained their Knockouts Tag Team Championships. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Woo! So, one half of the champions, Kiera Hogan, has made some very interesting claims over the last week or so. I think it was about a week ago. She came out in support of her tag team partner Tasha Steelz when she had a singles match against Havoc. Kiera Hogan's come out in this leather number, this black number, obviously with her blue hair, holding a championship, looking great, all the rest of it, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. A few days later, because that was on Tuesday, a few days later on the Friday, Sasha Banks, who also has blue hair, also came out in a very similar black number, which then led Kiera Hogan to tweet and complain that Sasha Banks is copying her, Kiera Hogan, with the style, with so-and-so gimmicks or certain things that they do, characteristics and blah, 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 blah. I'll leave you to talk about this one because I'm like, I don't want to say nothing, bro, because I'm just like...
Bruv, like, all right. When I first saw this started, because she's been going at Sasha for maybe about a couple weeks before this, before what you just mentioned. I thought, you know what, these are wrestlers. They probably know each other backstage and stuff, and it's all you know. Let's do this to get some heat and all this kind of stuff. I didn't even take too much care towards this, right?
Right.
All right. Then I was I saw all of that kind of stuff. Then I was on Instagram Live, and I saw this terrible example of how to use a social media platform to get yourself over with Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, just being so immature, like going at Sasha Banks for things like her mental health, for things like how her husband looks. Oh, we're playing Mean Girls now. I was thinking, what is this? What is this? And you know what? I then went into a clubhouse room, and I was in there with some other American-based fans, and they were kind of filling me in as well on the history between these two. So apparently, Kiera Hogan has been treated badly by Sasha in the past. Like maybe she wanted an autograph signing, and Sasha blew her off, and Sasha was a nasty person to her, and all this kind of stuff. Which, okay, you know, these people are famous, and maybe they don't want all of that all the time, you know. But like the way you dealt with it on that live was absolutely nasty. Going at someone's mental health, going at somebody's husband. It's like, nah, like this is, I then knew that this wasn't wrestling anymore. You weren't just trying to get something over. This is just you being a very nasty person. And it's a very unfortunate and embarrassing almost that this is two black women, especially while Sasha Banks is at the top of the scene. There is no you without Sasha Banks. Do you know that, love? There is no, you don't exist. You do not exist, and I'm sorry it sounds harsh, and I don't know how long you've been on the indies or training and whatever. There is no you without Sasha Banks' success. It's not happening. And you are going after one of the pillars of black wrestling right now. You know, the likes of me, call me a fanboy or whatever. I've put Sasha Banks in my black Mount Rushmore now. Now she's there now, live in the flesh, bro. Like this isn't when she's all retired and things have hung up. She's there already.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what you think this is going to achieve. You're very, very young in your career. You still have places to go, maybe, and move on to other places. But this is the reputation you're creating for yourself already. And I just think, like, you know, as you know, this is very poor to be ripping people, another black woman, for stuff like this. But yeah, I'll let you go, man.
Here's my thing. So you're very right in saying that right now, based on the success of, I guess, the decision of WWE about 3-4 years ago, however long it was, to do this women's evolution thing and push all of that, and Sasha Banks at the forefront of it, and you know, right now is, you know, the biggest female star in wrestling without shadow of a doubt right now. So there's definitely substance in the fact that, you know, if not for Sasha Banks, there probably wouldn't be so much eyes on women's wrestling right now. Fair enough. You can argue that the Knockouts did stuff before the Evolution all day long. Definitely. Of course, Kiera Hogan wasn't a part of that at the time, but she's now part of that same thing and probably holds that to some degree. She's also has more than enough credibility in terms of how she's come through the scene, done her hard work and all that kind of stuff as well, and reached to where she is as well. So she has, I guess, enough credibility in able to say something. Is what she's saying correct? Does it make it correct? It doesn't in the slightest. It does not in the slightest. You know, we can talk about the very specific and, you know, very real, tangible blue hair and outfits and the color of the outfits and the cut and the style and the way certain people move and blah, blah, blah. We could talk about that kind of stuff all day. She's kind of said a very similar thing about Ember Moon about 2 years ago, I think it was, when they both had red hair or something like that. Whatever. But yeah, that live that happened was very embarrassing. Now, Shanti's rightly said in the comments, she said the fans had quite a lot to do with, you know, how that live went because of the things that they said. You know, she said the fans provoked a lot of that live.
People did say that in the clubhouse as well. So yeah, 100%. However, you know, if someone keeps telling me put your hand in fire, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you guys want to see it? You want to put my hand in fire? Okay, I'm gonna put my hand in fire now. Like, we can't. And a part of me, you know, would think to myself that as a star, as Kiera Hogan, or just any adult, knowing full well the stuff that you've just said on Twitter in the last few days, going on a live, the way the fans have reacted, you're gonna get a very similar thing, a very similar narrative as soon as you start a live. You're gonna get it. So she knew full well what was about to happen, and could have dealt with it differently, or just not got on live. Like, what was her? I don't know what it was. So I'm actually asking the question. Like, what was her point going live? Like, what was it for? I know people just do it just to do it, but at the same time, in the thick of, you know, this whole thing going on that you've, you know, been tweeting and blah blah blah, you kind of know what's about to happen. Yeah. So you kind of put yourself there on purpose. You know what I mean? And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing as much as fans provoked certain things and blah, blah, and fans are just nasty with their comments and have just no remorse and all the rest of it, no tact at all, on their best days. But, you know, still, there's ways and means to control how you carry on, what you do, what you say. And the whole thing, the main thing that's actually quite funny is the fact that, you know, there's been not one level of response from Sasha Banks. And that, for me, shows you the levels. And I'm very happy she hasn't responded. And I hope she never responds. She won't. She won't. She ain't got time for it. She won't. And I understand as well, you know, again, to be, you know, understanding of Kiera Hogan's position. I understand that you've been hurt by Sasha Banks, and you know, obviously as fans, people just see this amazing talent and this nice woman and blah blah blah. Whereas if you're in the wrestling game, you see the real people, and you know, there's been more than enough, you know, stories to say that, you know, on certain days or whatever, Sasha Banks hasn't been the greatest person to be around or can be rude and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. You know, you're seeing something that the fans don't see. And if you're getting a whole load of fans defending this woman who they don't know, whereas you have a better idea of that person, it's opposite to what these fans are saying. Of course, you're going to get irate about it. You're going to say something, you're going to mention it. But yeah, there's still, you know, a way to conduct yourself. And, you know, again, it's this whole thing on Twitter. I'm not even going to talk about Twitter. I'm going to say nothing. People just have no tact, bro. I'm just like, nah, I'm not here for it. It's like one of the things that people were saying in the Clubhouse group was that Impact don't have any PR or anything like that, like how WWE do. And if that's the truth, then that's obviously a massive issue. And with Sasha, like you said, yeah, people's personalities can be different to what we get on TV. But for me, I always just think, like you said, you're an adult. You know this ain't the way you should conduct yourself, right? Like I said, your career, even with all the success you've garnered so far, your career is very still embryonic. Like it's new. Like you've got a long way to go, innit? If WWE are ever interested in you. Now, maybe I'm talking out my backside here, but I'm sure Sasha probably has enough pull to say, don't sign that girl.
Right.
And then we'll start talking about, oh, Sasha blocked my opportunities. But you've started all of this, or you've made this issue bigger than it ever had to be.
Right, that's what it is. It's making the issue bigger than it needed to be. So even if the whole thing was true, and we found out with facts and evidence that Sasha Banks stole her style, stole her hair color, all the rest of it, you still then made it more than it needs to be.
Personal, bro. Like, this
is
2021. Like, things like, oh, her husband's ugly, or her mental health, this, that, and the other. She could have probably got away with it years ago. But in 2021, even WWE, who don't seem to care so much about these kind of stuff, they are clamping down on it. We've seen AEW, Tony Khan. He won't take you if he sniffs any kind of nonsense in your behavior. That's it. I'm done with you, innit? I'm not even going to look at your contract or whatever.
Right.
WWE they're becoming that, and they're going to be more tactful when looking after the stars they have. You haven't gone for, I don't know, like Lacey Evans here. You've gone for Sasha Banks. You've gone right to the top of the mountain, bro.
Right.
Like, this is where the water that you're drinking is pouring from. You understand? Bro, I just, and this is what I mean. Even if it's a beef, they've got their personals. Is she not thinking about her career? And Tasha Steelz in the back. I was singing her praises a couple of weeks ago, but for you to be here, I know that's your mate. You're here egging it on. Like, come on, man.
That was disappointing.
Someone has to have the brain there and just say, no, let's not do this. Like, or tone it down or whatever. Like,
yeah. That was disappointing as well, actually, to be honest. But and here's the thing. We mentioned about Impact not necessarily clamping down on certain things, and the PR not really necessarily being there, and all the rest of it. We see WWE taking all these measures with no third party stuff. And I think the newest one that I saw just yesterday, I believe, is that WWE are clamping down on their stars not even being able to tweet other companies or charities that are not partnered with WWE, other stars, over this, that, whatever else that are not part of WWE. That seems drastic, bro. That seems ridiculous. But at the same time, if that prevents stuff like their stars doing things like this, and at the end of the day as well, you work in any normal workplace, we both got our own jobs away from this place here. If we were to do any madness like that, we would want to hold ourselves back based on the fact that, if my boss sees this, then something's going to happen. Or if you're going for an interview and there's certain things on your Twitter or whatever else, and people look at you. So, it makes sense. It sounds drastic. It seems drastic when you first read it and all the rest of it. But when you stop and think, it's what any other company does. I guess the difference is with WWE, the people are still contracted as self-employed. So that's when all the complication kind of comes into it, and blah, 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 blah. But if it's preventative of this type of thing happening, your stars then either embarrassing yourselves, embarrassing the company, all that kind of thing. I'm just like, wow, okay.
Bruv,
give me my money. Let me do what I love in the ring. Leave,
and done.
And be happy. Go home to my family. Chill, good to go.
Bruv, she's been handed massive responsibility with the knockout championships with Tasha Steelz.
That's the other part as well.
Straight. This is a championship that's been inactive. They've just brought it back. She's the first champion, and this is how you want to represent it. This is how you want to represent women. This mentality, like it's her or me, or there's only one spot, or like I'm not gonna sit here and speak on women's issues and stuff like that, or their behaviors, but I'm sorry to say this is a typical kind of female behavior, like, and I just think it's wrong, man. Like, no matter the industry, and sad. You lot are few. Like, we saw that picture WWE took of after the Royal Rumble that the black women in WWE took. There was what, maybe 7 of them.
Not even 6. There was 5 of them, bro, and one of them doesn't even wrestle anymore.
Right. So then, if we go around to AEW, how many is there? If we go around to Impact, how many is there? It's like, all of you lot with these companies, would it even be 20 of you? Like, stick together, please.
There's not even 20. Not even 20.
Together, man. Like, it's.
Yeah. It's frustrating. As I said, we don't know the full story. We don't know, Kiera Hogan's direct experience with Sasha and all that kind of stuff, and it has its bearing. It has, it takes, takes its place within the whole argument and all the rest of it. But for me, at the end of the day, there's just ways and means. And Shanti's made a good comment, and saying it's a petty, catty comment that the men make often. Yeah, you know what?
What about someone? I don't hear no man talking about someone else's wife or mental health.
Not publicly, actually. That's very true. So, but here's the thing. We've had similar things with men, and it's not impossible for a man to do the same thing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I guess the sad part about this is that it's been unapologetically public.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is with this one. It's just straight public and no one cares.
This is bullying, bro. If any one of our kids came back from school and said this was happening to them, this is bullying, and we're gonna go do something about it. So let's not try to dress this up as anything else. Yeah, they're grown people and that, but yeah, man.
You should know better. It's as simple as that. You should know better. Moving on, because I'm about to throw the table. Now, moving on, we have a few minutes left. As always, we like to do our weekly stars of the week. I think mine is a little bit obvious. You know what? I'm actually going to go first.
Go on.
For a change. We're being nice. I'm being nice today. I'm just going to go straight there with MSK. For me, I think, they have shown exactly, again, I said it earlier, exactly why they signed with WWE.
Yeah.
It was questioned for however long, and when the speculation started, up until they signed, after they signed, up until they turned up in the first round of the Dusty Classic. And, probably even still to this day, some people are still asking that question. But at the same time, this is their first major win of the two big companies that they've been in, and they were in the other company for as long as 3 years. Desmond Xavier, now known as Wesley, won the Super X Cup in his first year that he was in Impact, but that was a singles thing. Did nothing significant, I guess, since in terms of winning championships or tournaments or whatever else. They turn up on NXT, and within 4 or 5 weeks, they've won a tournament that has seen the likes of Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, DIY, and other singles performers and tag teams have won it before. So it kills the question of why did they sign? The argument's over. I mean, they've still got a few more years to see what happens with them afterwards and all that kind of stuff. But and their performances were amazing. Their performances were fantastic. Exactly what we expected to see, exactly what we wanted to see from both guys. And to see them lift that cup, or at least stand next to it, because they didn't lift it. It looked too heavy. It's just amazing. Obviously, they took the picture with Triple H, and that's the best part. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, shout out to Wesley and Nash Carter on that big win. So MSK are definitely my stars of this week. Quickly before you say anything, shout out to Muscleman Malcolm, who joined us here on the live. Shout out to my guy, Muscleman Malcolm. Catch him on YouTube, one of the hardest working YouTubers in the wrestling game. Make sure you check him out, subscribe, and all the rest of it. Also, there was one shout out I have to do. I was told to do in the week. This is so random, bro, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's not wrestling related at all, but it's so my bishop, he does a show on Affinity Extra as well. He actually listened to the show about 2 weeks ago, and very complimentary. It was the show with after Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble, and it was very complimentary of how excited we were and all the rest of it. He said he made it all sound interesting to him. So shout out to my bishop, Jonathan Jackson. I've done that now. We can't say nothing.
Nice.
You better start. Give me back my offering money when I go to church. You know what I mean? Done. All good. Your turn.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, everyone follow Malcolm, especially subscribe to his channel, get him to 20,000 subscribers.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes,
amazing
yes,
achievement. He's on the cusp of.
yes.
So let's all do that. My stars of the week, honorable mention to the WWE writer that sits and watches this show every week, because they have done it again, bro.
Yes.
Last week we sat here and we said, why is Miz in this Elimination Chamber match? He's got the briefcase. He shouldn't be in it. Kofi Kingston should be in it. Lo and behold, that happened this week on Raw. So shout out to the secret viewer that watches this show every week with their pen and notepad.
I was thinking the exact same thing when I was watching yesterday, bro. I was like, as soon as Miz said, I'm coming out of the Elimination Chamber, and then they mentioned Kofi Kingston, I was like, who's watching this show? Or I'm thinking, hold on, Mex, are you not telling me that you're writing for WWE or something because of me?
No, 100%. I mean, if I have one time? Yeah, if I have one little thing against it, I thought, why does he have to fight for his place? Everyone else could just walk in, but whatever, it's happened now. So yeah, big up Kofi Kingston and that. My star of the week, it is gonna be Ember Moon. Like I said, I thought this was a really good performance that she put on in the women's tag match. I did expect, you know what? I expected Shotzi and Ember to win just because of Ember Moon winning. They have that main roster experience going against Shayna and Nia Jax. Obviously they're very high on Shotzi right now. I thought Raquel Gonzalez would eventually then turn on Dakota Kai before going after the NXT Women's Championship. That's how I have kind of it in my head. But it makes sense for who won that one. And yeah, Ember Moon put on a great performance. I think at this stage, to be honest, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart should probably stay as a tag team. Probably do good for both of them. And in terms of attitude, as much as we can try and draw from Ember Moon's character, I think they fit each other quite well. It does work. So I think Ember Moon, great performance. And yeah, she's my star of the week.
Nice. Shout out to Ember Moon. As we said, she's faultless really when it comes to the in-ring ability, the talent, what she can do, and all the rest of it. She's, she does absolutely amazing. So it's great to see her kind of, I guess, finding her feet again.
Yeah.
Get rid of that ring rust, and hopefully we'll see more things to come. In terms of that future women's tag team match, I understand what you're saying about, Ember and Shotzi winning, because then it would have been, heel and face, whereas now it's a bit more heel and heel in it. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think it would still be a good match. It would be nice to see Raquel Gonzalez and Nia Jax come face to face. How, what they do with that little bit there. And Dakota Kai used to be scared of Shayna Baszler way back. Remember when Shayna Baszler started doing a bullying thing? So that would be interesting to see what happens with them two as well, if they bring that up as well.
And you know what I didn't know about that? Those two are dating.
Who?
Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler. Yeah. So now with them going against each other, it's even mad. Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
Mad. Okay. Nice. Oh, and a quick shout out based on talking about dating and blah blah. Quick shout out to Keith Lee and Mia Yim on their recent engagement as well.
Keith Lee and Reckoning.
Mia Yim on their recent engagement. Love to see it. Happily ever after would have been my post if I did it on time. But yeah, I didn't. But folks, time's gone. We are done. As always, the chicken is waiting every single week. I need to go home. Mex, thanks once again, folks. Catch Mex on Instagram, WrestleManiac.uk. Of course, the WrestleManiac YouTube channel, where he will be daily posting, talking about everything wrestling and what's going on in the world of WWE, sometimes Impact, and of course as well the Elite Maniac show. I got it right. Yeah. The Elite Maniac show, also with Elite News 1. You can catch me, of course, on Black Wrestling Alliance on Instagram. couple things on Twitter every now and again when I post exclusives of people being signed to WWE. And the Jet Power X, make sure you check that out as well. Folks, time is done. We are over. We are out of here. I've got to go. Peace.
Take care, guys.